Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence and I'm a professional rugby league player for the West Tigers.
Hitting Lawrence! What a beautiful ball! Lawrence! Chris Lawrence! A Tiger through and through!
I've played over 220 first grade games over the past 13 seasons, and I'm also the director of One Wellbeing alongside Leon Keir. My education journey would have been in my HSC year, especially while playing sport. I really learned from a young age how to separate what you're doing on the field and off the field, and going through everything I did with my debut year and having to go through my HSC and still working hard at that, and how that probably helped me through that period, being able to focus on something else outside of rugby league. I suppose that was a catalyst for me to continue to study, and was definitely the start of my education journey. Once I finished my HSC, I enrolled in a university degree at Sydney University. It was going into my second year of playing professional rugby league, and I thought I'd be able to juggle both a university degree and playing professional rugby league. I know a few players at the time were doing that, so I thought I really found it beneficial having some form of education and study while I was playing in my first year, so I wanted to continue that. So I started doing the degree only part-time, so doing a couple of units at a time, and got through some subjects alright, but some subjects really struggled with, particularly a lot of the ones that required you to be there and do a lot of practical work. I found it very hard, and the lack of flexibility, particularly fitting into my training schedule, really hurt. I think it was towards the back end of either that year or the start of the next year where there was one particular subject I couldn't attend the tutorial or the lecture at all through the semester, and I went and spoke at the time with the unit coordinator and to see if there was any flexibility, and she said there was nothing they could do, and that I would just have to attend that class, and that I would just have to make arrangements to try and to make it there, because you had to have attend a certain amount of lectures. And I tried to explain at the time that I was playing professional rugby league, and that obviously took priority, and which made it hard for me. So unfortunately that they didn't accommodate that, and while they just allowed me to still complete the exam to see whether I passed the subjects without having the requirements of attending every class, I just didn't feel that it was right for me, because somehow I passed the exam and passed the unit, but I barely attended any classes, and I really felt that if I kept continuing to do that exercise and sports science degree at Sydney, that I possibly could come out and have passed every subject, but wouldn't have learnt anything and wouldn't know anything, and it just wasn't the right fit. Really struggled, and that I suppose turned me off education a bit. Even though I wanted to do something, it really made it tough, because I was trying to be active and trying to actively do something, and build my education experience, but it was really difficult. So I think after a year and a half of doing that, I dropped out of that university course, and from there I still really wanted to do something else. I found it beneficial to be able to focus on something, and I wanted to keep learning, and I had a passion for learning, so I decided to stay down the health and fitness line, and I did my certificate 3 and 4 in fitness, and did that online. So really went the flexible option, and being able to complete that at a speed and at a pace and whenever it suited me. So I found that really helped with that, but obviously the drawback of that is you didn't have the support of doing it by yourself, and you had to be self-motivated to actually sit down and do the work. And I was pretty self-motivated and got all the work done and passed the course, but found it difficult on the support side, that where I struggled with certain things, it didn't have that support where I needed. So the reason I chose the courses that I did, initially the exercise and sports science degree was something that I wanted to do throughout year 11 and 12. I decided that I wanted to go down that path and possibly look into physiotherapy, but upon doing the first couple of years of the course and trying to do that amongst playing first grade footy, I just found it wasn't for me. And even if it wasn't for the footy side of things, I don't think it's sort of the career pathway I would have eventually gone down. So
I missed.
to be honest, it's probably a blessing in disguise. The fact I suppose I just got in a routine knowing I had to get the work done, so
because
just sat down and got it done.
I wouldn't have wanted to
get through
so that
3 years,
4
4 years, or 5 years to study
and do it
into the industry and figure out that it's not what I want to do for the rest of my life.